this league. So as you can see, we are waiting to jump into qualifying. We've had some technical issues lately, and we're just looking to see how that would improve. So as you can see on our screen, it's like everybody's on low connection. So I will be looking into that in a moment. Just bear with me while I am going to bring up some details regarding the circuit and the details regarding the league itself. So I will say first, it is sponsored by Simracer Coin. Which is a cryptocurrency which is currently available for trading on the catix.io as and when that comes available. The aim is for that company is to reward winners of esport leagues such as this with credits that they can eventually spend on sim racing equipment such as monitors, steering wheels, seats, that kind of thing. I have actually looked on their website, and they are looking into contracts with Fanatec and Logitech. So a lot of big names that they are looking to jump in with. So we are just waiting for the server to be ready for us to start racing. So I am going to jump on board with the comments in a moment, so if you've got anything to say, just say hello, and if you just drop a message in. Obviously with me covering today, it does mean that I will miss off little bits of information, but it's okay because I can catch up on that very soon. Just bear with me one moment while I just update the drivers stream on Discord so anybody can jump onto that. It's a little bit more time to see what the chat is on. So we got Cairo with good evening, Ferret. Well, good evening, Cairo. Thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, we've had a few technical issues with the servers at Codemasters. I will be honest. People getting kicked out of games for various reasons. So, whatever anybody can do, just drop in a message. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking about. It'd be great to hear from you all. So let's run through the drivers that we got on the grid so far. Just jump from top to bottom dead quick. So we've got Reina in the AlphaTauri. Now Reina, if I remember rightly, was second, if I remember rightly, from last season, but it's in the AlphaTauri. This is a realistic setting car race, so all the cars have got realistic performances. And we do have a issue ourselves. It's saying connection quality is not great, and I do apologise about that. I have no idea why that is, because ever since I got it, it's in the same place. I've not had any issues in the past, so I'm guessing this is going to be one of those days. So we've got Dylan Brown, good evening lads, up the McKinnon, so a fan of Reagan in the Alfa Romeo. So we've got Reagan in the AlphaTauri, we've got Maverick in the McLaren, Nismo in the Mercedes, Bagos in the Racer Point, Barcelona in the Renault. Now Barcelona, I absolutely phenomenal last week, if I remember rightly. It was a phenomenal performance. We have Heffy in the Mercedes, Reagan in the AlphaTauri, Zaran Knight in the Renault, Cairo in the McLaren, Thomas in the Williams, Apex in the AlphaTauri, LH44 in the Alfa Romeo. LH was the champion last season. He has currently had a very difficult start in Australia. I would call it a whirlpool effect, basically he started off reasonable well, and then all of a sudden it was one little mistake from one person or another, and it just kind of like just snowballed. So it got worse and worse throughout the race, and he lagged behind and ended up DNFing. Carter in the racing points. We got Liam in the Red Bull racing. That guy Draper in the Haas, Rocket in the Haas, Ben Cardiff in the Ferrari, Correct Savant in the Red Bull, and Magnus in the Ferrari. Now, last week there was a lot of spin outs at 10, 12. Touching the grass too much, spin the car around, crash into the opposite wall. A lot of people do it. Magnus, the wall crusher, did it a few times throughout his whole life. And he kind of like it was like synchronized basically. A lot of drivers did it. So we are looking into the qualifying one stage right now. Now, I go into the hooks. I will apologise for any connection issues that we have beforehand. We've seen it through other people. The regular commentator kept crashing out of the game, and it would be down to the same reason. So I'm going to bring up my Bahrain information. Now I know Bahrain quite well. It's one of those circuits that Herman Tilke built back in 2004. Well, when I say built, he was the architect that designed it. It was never designed to be a night circuit. It was only because the temperatures were so hot that the tyres were actually melting onto the tarmac at times. So that's why they changed to a night circuit, similar to what happens at Yas Marina. So I'm just bringing up this information. Where did I put it? Here we go. Bahrain circuit information. Got it here on my notes. So yeah, like I said, opened in 2004. It did take 2 years to design and build. Herman Tilke, I'll go through his details when we go around the circuit with one of our guys. So I am looking forward to hearing from the racers. So if anybody can just let us people know that we are streaming. So I am just going to pop it in and let people know. Okay, so we do have our first cars out. Let's see if we can jump on board with one of them, because then we can talk through the circuit. So we have the racing pointer back off. Now, okay, stay on board with him. Drop away the information. Sorry, I do apologise. As he is on his warm-up lap like anybody else. So here we go. So turn 4 here, going into the S-bends of 5, 6 and 7. So this is meant to be very similar to the Maggotts and Beckett's you have at Silverstone. So we go around turn 8, which is probably the second slowest corner on the circuit. Around 9 and 10. Now 9 and 10 is a flip of turns 12 and 13 back on the Circuit of America, but the Circuit of America was designed after this, so it was copied from this to Circuit of Americas. As Pepe now slows down, really. Oh. Okay, so he's going to go around 10, 11 here, 10, 12. 10, 12 and 13 was designed, well mainly, yeah, main turn 12 was designed to look similar to turn 8 in Turkey, but it couldn't get the full effect. Down turn 13, down the back streets. Bottom here is turns 14 and 15, just because even though you can take it in one turn, there is actually a little straight in between. So here we go. As we go along, let's bring this information back up. We want to see lap data. We want to know what tyres people are on. Don't need to know the tail on the feet. Let's drop that away so we can see most of the screen. So here we go, Bagos with the fast lap. So here we go. Good evening, mate. Will there be a 5 minute? Will be in 5 minutes? Oh, so Andrew Gaben will be here in 5 minutes. I believe he may be our missing driver, but we'll see how it goes. I'm terrible when I see names on YouTube to names on the circuits, so I need to remember who that is. I do apologise, Andrew. I will get there one day, but he is our missing driver so far. So as we can see, that's Bagos going around 10, 13 there, hammering down to 10, 14 and 15 to set our first time. And here we go, over the line, 127.8. Let's see who else we got running out. We've got Reagan now. Let's see where he comes in. As he comes over the line, so we've got Bagos on a 127.8, Reagan on a 128.3, and Correct Savant on a 129.7. Now I think it was Correct Savant who had the issues earlier. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Ben Cardiff. Sorry, I do apologise. Ben Cardiff had the issues before, kept getting kicked out the game. I do understand that happens. And LH with a great time of a 128.2. These Alfa Romeos, yes, they are performing as a lower entity car, but the fact that they are so close to the Mercedes is a positive for us to see. So we've got Maverick on a 128.9, Correct Savant sitting there at the bottom of 129.7, which means he may get shifted down. Heffy with 127.9, Carter with 128.9. So let's have a look to see. We've got Liam who's out on a lap, and we've got Magnus who's on a flying lap. Let's jump on with Magnus. I do want to bring up the map, because we can see exactly what's going on. So Magnus out on his fast lap. Let's stay on board with Magnus at the moment, and I'll get rid of that menu. So Magnus there out. So this is the expense that Magnus does have a tendency to slip off this part of the circuit, but it seems like he's handled it quite well. Now I am expecting a lot of comments from Magnus. He always tends to throw some comments in during qualifying. So around 10-10, and quite nice 10-10. It doesn't use as much as the circuit as other drivers do, but it's quite nice. It's still quite nice. Let's see how he takes on 10-11. Now 10-11, you need to be on the white line as Magnus is to cut it. He doesn't cut the corner as much as he should have. He could be losing like 3/10 of a second through that as it carries on all the way up to 10-13. You need to be carrying that speed. So cutting a corner, and he goes wide there, invalidates that lap, unfortunately, so he needs to harvest that energy and go again. Let's see if we can jump up with anybody else. We've got Liam, I believe, let's have a look. I think Liam is our next guy to go across the line, so he's coming around 10, 14 and 15. Yeah, Liam, let's see how he does. With 128.0, so he's really put himself in third at the moment. So we've got Bagos, Heffy, Liam, LH, Reagan, the Maverick, Carter and Correct Savant all putting the time so far. We've got Balsamon who's out on his out lap. Nismo out on a fast lap. Now Nismo in the Mercedes, we should be expecting this to be a good time with the Mercedes. Obviously it's driver dependent now with the realistic. So every car should be on soft tyres in this sector, because the soft tyres is the only tyre really to be using in quali 1 and 3. Here we go, around 10-10, let's see. Again, another driver cutting that a bit too much. He doesn't use the full width of the track. So that's another 3/10. For every corner you don't cut, you could give a rule of thumb that you could be losing 3-4 tenths of a second. Again, a bit wide on 10-12. Should be a little bit closer to that curve, get a shorter route. Fairly nice around 10-13 as he puts the hammer down. The purple sector, sector 2, but this is early stages. Let's see how he does. The speed is meant to carry on, so Mercedes, you are expecting a good time. And Bahrain is one of those circuits that everybody practices. Nismo 127.6. Fantastic time for Nismo, putting himself up at in P1 at the moment. Obviously there is a lot of room for improvement there with Nismo, and that car can give a lot more. Stick a driver like LH in that car, we could be seeing a record breaking times in complete fairness. Or even drivers such as Thomas or let's have a look other Williams driver, which I believe is the guy that we're missing. So it's Tifa Beefy that we normally have. Liam has resigned from that section, and we've got Parson out on the fast lap. Let's have a look, and then we jump on with the second owner, the league owner of Reina in a moment. So Parson going around with a time of a 127.8. He is 2 tenths behind Wicklow at the moment. So that ran out performing quite well again under the in hands of Barcelona. Barcelona is a very quick driver, I will say straight up. He's proven himself over and over last season. With the way the realistic car was set out, it was to break up the top 10 drivers, the fastest drivers, and put them in the cars that the worst performing cars on the grid. It just seems that Bagos being, Barcelona being in that area where he was quick but maybe not quick as others, managed to bag himself the Renault, which I believe is one of the better, more stable cars on the grid. Definitely got a nice balance, and I'll say it again and over again about the Renault. It's got the best looking spoiler on the grid. So we are waiting for a few more people to come out on the track, so we're going to run through top to bottom all over again. So we've got Nismo with a 127.6, Bossman with 127.8, Vargas 127.8, Pepe 127.9, Liam with 128.0, LH with a 120, so 128.2. I'm trying to find where Reina's popped in A with a 128.0, just 5 hundredths behind Liam. LH 128.2, Regan 128.3, Ben Carter 128.7, Maverick 128.9, Walton 128.9, Rocky 129.4, Grexon 129.7. Still to put in the lap is Apex, that guy Draper, Thomas, Zionite, Kyra and Magnus. Let's have a look and see where these drivers are. So we've got that guy Draper, who is coming up to turn 4. Thomas, who has just started his flying lap. Zion Knight, who's invalidated that lap. Cairo, he's on the out lap, so that doesn't really matter. Cairo, I'll just come up to turn 4. And Magnus pops in with provisional first place with 127.4. What Magnus will do now, he'll go in the pit and he will gloat. I will put it down here, I bet you go, wow, what a lap will come out of his mouth on chat if he is linked in. I know at the moment Magnus is streaming his own race, which you can catch on Discord, or you could actually search it on YouTube, just type in his name, I'm sure it'll pop up. But yeah, that was a nice lap by Magnus. Let's have a look, let's go jump up where. So we've got that guy Draper coming around the final 2 corners. Puts himself in 13th with 129.0. So the times are a little bit staggered. First 9 are within 1 second of each other, and then it kind of jumps up there, and then first 10 within 1 second of each other. Let's have a look. Who just jumped in there? I think it was Carter put in a good time of 128.2. So we are looking at like possibility of 4 drivers going out, maybe 5. So you do need to be comfortably. You need to be sitting 12th. Currently occupied by Ben Cardiff. Now Ben Cardiff, we are expecting a lot better time from him at the moment. But here we go. We've got straight from top to bottom. We've got Magnus. I just want to get on with Apex, who should be coming out of that pit we need Apex to be putting a flying lap in very soon, because when the 3-minute warning comes up, that's when you'll start seeing the next rush of drivers coming out. So we've got Magnus with 127.4, we've got 127.6, Cyanide with 127.6, Horseman with 127.8, Bagos with 127.8, Heavy with 127.9, Liam with 128.0, Raiden 128.0, Carson 128.2, Alex 128.2, Reagan 128.2, That Guy Draper 128.6, Thomas 128.6. It's absolutely amazing between That Guy Draper and Thomas. There is 1,000 between them. Between what I count as the very safe place to the not so safe place, that's how small that gap is. We have Thomas with Thomas 128.6, Ricardo 128.7, Cairo, who has bowed out with 128.7, Maverick 128.9, Rocker 129.4, and Correct Someone 129.7. So Maverick has retired from the session. Quite a few people have retired from the session, not believing that they could go any further. And Apex warming his tyres up on the final straight before he goes for his flying lap, getting those tyres up to temperature before he has to commit. I'm going to stay on board with Apex because he is our last driver to put in a time. We are expecting him to be roughly within the Carter age region of the 128.2s, but let's see how he performs. Weighing it up right now, it's very hard to predict who will be sitting pole. I would go with Magnus, Barcelona, and Nismo's putting a good time as well. Cyanide performed well yesterday, so the Renaults are actually performing really well. The issue that we may have is that some of these cars have been adapted from the original ranking to reflect realistic cars. Now, some of the cars which haven't is actually the Ferrari. So people who are sitting there going thinking, well, if this is realistic, why is Ferrari sitting near the top? Well, that would be because Ferrari cars were not amended in the updates. If you actually check the terms and conditions that were there, Ferrari has the right to actually halt updates, so they can't, so they don't reduce the standard that they are at the moment unless they're happy with it. But that's Ferrari for you. Ferrari has the knack of writing all sorts of caveats into contracts that they do every single year. So you got to be careful when you become a Ferrari owner. You are following a strict code of conduct. So let's have a look. So Apex puts himself with a 128.2, bang on the money, like I said. Can't believe it. I've just banged it straight. So I should have put a bet on that. That was like spot on. So let's run through as we got 1 minute and a half minutes left. So all these drivers from 10th down should be getting out there. So we've got Magnus 127.4 sitting at pole. Sitting at P1 at the moment. That is fantastic time. I don't think he needs to go out again to be safe. These are the drivers I would say would have to go out, because we've only got on here 2 drivers that could possibly go out. So we need to get Ben Cardiff needs to go out again. Rocker will need to go out again. They only need a slight improvement because That Guy Draper has just retired from the session, and that could see a door opener, because Thomas needs to go back out again. Because if Rocker improves by a second, it will change a whole lot. I want to jump on board with Rocker. Let's have a look. Rocker invalidates that lap. He's allowing other cars to go past. He's not going to make it. He's got 30 seconds to go, and I don't think he's going to make it. A lot of these drivers are not going to make a second lap. LH, I think he's kind of might have realised that he is actually safe now, with a lot of drivers below him retiring from the session. So he actually doesn't need to put in an improvement at this moment. So Thomas. I wonder how he does. At 128.2. So Thompson's have a 128.2. Kind of leapfrogs that guy Draper. Now Ben Cardiff, if he put out a lap, if he pulled out a lap, he could have leapfrogged. That guy Draper, is he safe though? That is the question we've got. Because it only shows 19 cars on his cars there. Did it drop 4 or did it drop 5? One of those things. We've got to balance out to have a look. Right, now that we've got a few people on board with us, just dropping in messages. Please let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to get overall pole at the end of Q3? Who do you think is going to win the race? It's quite interesting to see. So that's the end of Q1 as we've got drivers coming in now. I think Apex is our final driver. He's coming into the pits. We do have. They are finished, but they are still out of the circuit because we've got a couple of drivers. LA's been our final driver to come back into the pits. So there we have it, ladies and gents, end of Q1. Not as tightly thought out as I would have thought, with 2.2 seconds covering the whole grid. Last week I do believe it was down a little bit further. Let's any incidents. Let's have a look. Exceeding track limits seems to be speed in the pit lane. Drivers. There's 1, 2, 3. So not as many incidents that I thought would have been there. So let's have a look. And who's dropping out? It's the bottom 4. So Cairo, Maverick, and Rocket have been eliminated. So now we head over to Q2. And Q2 is the strategic phase of qualifying. This is where you think about how you want to start. Now everybody knows Bahrain is high tyre wear. You're looking at a 1 stop if you're starting mediums to hard, 2 stops if you're starting in the softs, possibly a 3 stop if it's a safety car. Tyre strategy usually is medium to hard for people who are looking to do a long stint, or a soft medium, or even a soft hard. An unlikely strategy is the soft hard. Medium, soft is also a strategy for someone who uses a lot of tyre wear, and we do have cars out on track. Let's jump on board. We've got Bagos is one of our first drivers out. Let's jump on board. So this is turn 1. Turn 1 we'll see some of the most action. Turn 2 and 3 is like a little kink. We will see continuation battles from turn 1 into those. Turn 4 we see DRS zone open and people will battle. Turn 4 is one of those corners. A lot of people will go wide there, but you've got to set up nicely because you're going through the S-bends. The S-bends are very technical. This is where people would want the downforce to be most active. And now it's around turn 8. Turn 8 is quite slow. You have got to tilt it a bit tight, but use a bit more of the track than Bagos did. Bagos is going right wide here. You do need to go wide. I would go a little bit in the middle of the track there to make the wider angle ready for turn 10. But he did well there. I'm sure at a bit higher speed you'll find that a bit easier. Come out to 10 11, you can put the times on that curve. Cut that corner tight. Cut it tight. You want to be sitting up here. You want to go far left and then touching about there on the apex. Out again, coming in. Late apex for the long straight down to turn 14 and 15. And 14 and 15 are a double apex 110 in my eyes, but FIA has ruled it as 2 turns because there is a straight, and there we go around the circuit. And let's see what Bagger pulls out for oh yeah, sorry, that wasn't out lap. So now we are looking at these fast lap. And Bagos again getting the early pits as the Red Bull comes out of the pits. For any drivers who are out, please drop a message, let us know what you're thinking, who you think is going to be stealing pole, which team is going to perform best. Personally, I think it's going to be between the Haas's and maybe the Renaults. Always perform well at Bahrain. It's something to do with the car, it's always quite well, as well as McLaren. But quite strange, I don't think we see a McLaren at all in the top 15. So here we go. Bagos then come down to turn 11. Around the large, wide sweeping S's. Well, sweeping S. On to turn 13. A nice purple sector there. It's quite early on, so. And that there was so close, almost invalidated that lap. As we are looking now, it's come out. And Bagos puts in a fast lap of 129.1. So I will be honest, that's a little bit slower than what the pace we expected. And this with 128.7. But this is with medium tyres. I will drop on tyres fitted. So everybody opting for the medium tyres apart from Apex and Thomas at the moment. So I believe Andrew would be the FIFA BP that we were expecting, and a validated lap from Bagos. Let's jump on board with Magnus. Magnus invalidated that lap, but let's see. He will certainly go for another fast lap, a fast lap now. Hopefully the cars in front will stay out of his way. Up into turn 4. Around the sweeping S's. Liam with 128.5 puts a nice provisional P1 at the moment. So they do say that 7 tenths is the time difference between medium and softs, usually. We got Shell Gaben with Go Apex, so Apex is Andrew Gaben. So Shell, thank you very much for dropping in the comments there and showing your support for Apex. Fantastic to see. As we go, another invalidated lap from Magnus. He's going to be struggling to get out on Q2 with those higher medium tyres, but we're going to stick with Pepe in the Mercedes. Let's see if he can actually make any time difference onto his teammate, Nisman. And that's a 128.8. That is very close, less than 1/10 between himself and his teammates. So Liam currently holding the fastest lap. Now, and there we go. That was, I think that might have been Reagan. Reagan with front wing damage after the spin at a turn 12. Now turn 12 is one of those corners that you go a bit too tight, you clip that corner, you are spinning. There's nothing you can do about that. The fact that he's actually managed to keep hold of that wheel, and now he'll go back to the pits to actually get that sorted, is fantastic to see that he's still there. Now have a look at the LH. That LH, it is one of those moments where you've got to think, right, you understand his frustration that he's been put in a car that doesn't perform as well as he did last season. But the fact that he's actually putting so much effort in to me with this car is fantastic to see. A fantastic purple sector in sector 2 as he is heading down to turn 14 and 15. On turn 14, 15 here, as you can see. I'm waiting for the time to pop off. And he puts a time of 1:28.9. A very respectable time for a car that doesn't perform as well as the Renault, the Mercedes, the Red Bull. Cars that are around them right now, and he's sticking the offer in amongst it. We have still got Reina on the fast lap at the moment. Let's jump on one. Oh, we just missed Reina's big we're on 29.4. Reina will have to go out again if he wants to get top 10. Because we've got Apex, Reagan, Thomas, Zionite and Magnus still to complete the lap. And with 6 minutes left, is it hit another fast lap now, or does he go? Let's have a look and see what his split time is on sector 1. Well, he hasn't improved on that, so whether he pushes for improving in the next 2 sectors, or he decides to bin this lap and go for it again, we will see. Still waiting to find out whether Apex and Thomas decide to go out along with Reagan, Zionite and Magnus. So Apex is out on his out lap at the moment. Reagan and Thomas still haven't left the pits. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that goes. Just looking up and down to see where our next time is. Now let's see where whether Reina goes into the pits or does he go for the lap. It looks like he's gone for the lap. So he has improved slightly with 1:29.3. So puts him in provisional 8th. Is it safe? Well, we find out soon enough. A lot of these drivers here will need to go out again to secure their positions. So Apex on a soft tire, maybe he's thinking the soft medium might be the choice of strategy that he will be going for. Or soft to hard. Because surely the soft medium will not last that long unless he puts in a fantastic stint on these soft tyres to give the medium the best chance of finishing the race. So I want to jump on board with Magnus. Try to put it. Yep, Magnus will be the one who's coming on next, and we can see that a car's gone off again, and it's Ben who's gone off in the Mercedes. Let's have a look. And Magnus with these tyres that have got a bit of wear on it already. Can he get a time put together that he can actually qualify into Q3 with? Puts himself in 5th with 1:28.9. Definitely not the time I thought he might have set, but it's a time that's quite respectable because it does put him in the mix with top drivers such as Bossman and LH44. We do have Apex. Let's jump on with Apex. Now Apex coming around 10:30. Now this is mainly for Shell now, who is watching Apex go. Does make a purple sector 2. He is the only driver on the soft tyres apart from that guy Draper. Signing out with a time of 1:28.5, takes provisional P1. And let's see how Apex does with this. looking like a very good time at the moment. It comes round 128.1. He is just over 4 tenths in front of Cyanide. Cyanide, if you take off 7 tenths for the medium tyres, does put him slightly ahead, but that's still battle worthy time. That's a very nice time there by Apex. Very well done. I'm sure Shell will be very happy to see that performance from Apex. Fantastic to see the AlphaTauri putting a good lap there. Let's have a look and jump down. We have outlaps from Regan and Thomas, outlaps from Ben Cardiff and Draper. Rayner will need to, is Rayner getting ready for an outlap because Carter's out on an outlap. Rayner will need to come out if he's looking, and Liam has retired from session again. We have the Ferrari coming in, which I believe is Magnus now in the pits. Let's have a look. Bosserman is on an outlap. Who's on a fine lap? Apex Zion, they're probably coming in from their fast lap, so they'll be coming into the pits. Zionite would be happy with that, so will Apex. Nisbo and Heffy look quite comfortable at that time, but anything can happen. But I think 10th at the moment is 29.2. 3 tenths is not much of a difference. Regan on the medium tyres, Thomas on the softs. A lot of drivers have jumped out on the softs at the moment, so we've got Rayner out on a soft lap, on the softs on his out lap. Needs to put a stint in here to get round the circuit in time for putting a qualifying time. May just miss it, and that'll be quite interesting to see. I'll come back to him in a moment because we do have Ben Cardiff right behind him. Regan with 129.3, nowhere near the pace he was showing in Q1. Okay, so we are just having a look to see if we can see any comments, but no more comments from any of our viewers so far. And that's in the validator lap by Regan. Let's have a look. Ben Cardiff. Ben Cardiff needs to put in a very good lap here. Rayner manages to get across the line in time. And Ben Cardiff, where did he come? Ben Cardiff. 129.1. So it shows that he's finished, that he will not be progressing into Q3. Rayner not progressing into Q3 as my timing stands show. But this could be wrong because it was showing that he did make it across the line in time. Quite bizarre incidents. And I will be looking into this as we speak, because I do think my timing screen is off because Bagos has put in a fastest lap there. Yeah. what's going on here. I do apologise, I've gone quiet because I'm trying to work out because fast one comes into place, so everybody has ended. I did warn people that this could happen. There is a glitch with the system. It's happened to me before, and I may have to drop out and jump back in if possible. But we'll wait to see what the title happens in a moment. So as we can see, Barcelona, Magnus, Ben Carter, Brayner and Reagan all out of Q2. So let's have a look at the incidents. Let's see if it is speed in the pit lane. Speed in the pit lane again. Megan's got a problem with speed in that pit lane. Magnus exceeding track limits as always. Let's have a look at what Q3 brings up. I may have to restart my stream in a moment, guys, if the information in the code does not match what I believe will be true, because it didn't seem right when that ended. Let's see if Baggers gets back out there first. Big amount of speed as well. We are having a bit of a technical issue, guys. I will apologise. I will have to drop out and get back in a moment. And hopefully I will be in time. Get back in time for the race. I do apologize.